Hi everyone, Mr. C here from 3R Tutoring. In today's video, I will be discussing the top 3 tips for learning mathematics. I have taught math at the elementary, high school, and college levels for over 20 years. I have spent most of that time working with learners who struggle in math class. These students have achieved results that surpassed everyone's expectations, most importantly, their own. Which brings me to the first tip. Be self-disciplined. Great news, everyone. No individual has more control over the results you obtain in math class than you. As such, as long as you do what is necessary to learn math, you will succeed. The question is, what is necessary? Doing what is necessary means not doing what you want necessarily. It means sacrificing or giving up what you want to do instead of math. For example, during math class, I'm sure some of you want to socialize, daydream, be on your phones, get up from your desk and walk around, etc. You need to be self-disciplined enough to pay attention, ask for help when you require assistance, and work on all the assigned practice questions. When at home, I am sure some of you would rather be on social media, playing video games, playing street hockey, watching YouTube, or listening to music. The list is endless. You need to be self-disciplined enough to focus on doing your homework, studying for your tests, and obtaining help if you require assistance. Now, being self-disciplined in class and at home sounds all well and good, but it is very challenging. So here are some things you can do at school to help you become more self-disciplined. First, you can ask your teacher for a seat in class far away from your friends. This will reduce the temptation to socialize. Next, if your teacher allows you to have a phone in class, leave it in your locker, or ask the teacher if you can leave it on their desk for the duration of class. Again, this will reduce the temptation to use it. Third, do not leave class. Take care of personal business in between classes. Finally, let your teacher know about the strategies you are putting in place so they can provide you with the discipline necessary when you lack self-discipline. In other words, if there are moments when you feel weak and you want to socialize, get on your phone, or leave the room, your teacher will help you ignore these urges. Next, here are some things you can do at home to help you be more self-disciplined. First, designate a special area at which you will do all your homework or studying. This area should be very quiet and far from temptations like television, the computer, or your cell phone. Next, have someone responsible close by who can make sure you stay on task, a parent perhaps. That way, if you start to lose focus or become distracted, they can redirect you. However, and this is very important, that person cannot become a distraction to you themselves. Okay, let's move on to tip number 2. Learn the language of math. There are many unique words and phrases used to discuss, describe, understand, and explain mathematics. If you do not possess the right vocabulary, learning math is infinitely more difficult. For example, how can you learn to calculate the volume of a cone if you don't know the meaning of the words volume, cone, radius, or height? Your teacher might provide you with a lesson on the topic, but you won't understand the lesson because it will be as if your teacher is using a foreign language. Think about that for a moment. Let's say, for the sake of argument, you do not speak German. What would happen if anyone attempted to teach you anything speaking German? It would be incredibly difficult. Well, your teacher may be using English, but if you don't know the meaning of the English words being used, your teacher might as well be speaking German. Learn the meaning of specific math-related words. In fact, part of a good math lesson includes time spent learning math-related vocabulary, and this does not mean simply writing down a definition off the board or from the back of your textbook. There are specific drills, questions, and activities that can help students acquire math-specific vocabulary. Finally, let's talk about tip number 3. Learning basic mental math. Being able to perform basic computations in your head is critical to learning math for a variety of reasons. First, you will no longer need to rely on your calculator so much. If you are struggling with math, chances are you rely too much on your calculator. Your mind has the ability to perform basic calculations faster than the time it takes to use a calculator to perform the same calculations. Saving time means you will end up getting more practice. More practice means your skills will develop at a faster rate. Also, using a tool like a calculator uses up a lot of what is called working memory. I will be discussing making the most of your working memory in a future video. For the time being, however, you will just have to trust me. The less you use a calculator, the more working memory you will have at your disposal to solve problems, and that is a good thing. Second, knowing facts like your times tables is used to solve problems faster and more accurately. For example, the topics of ratios, rates, percent, proportional reasoning, and algebra, just to name a few, all rely on your knowledge of the times tables. Knowing the product of a pair of values also means you inherently know the quotient of pairs of values, which also means you can find common factors and common multiples of pairs of values, etc. This knowledge is used in all of the aforementioned topics. And again, if you rely on a calculator to identify products, quotients, common factors, and common multiples, solving problems can take forever. Taking more time means solving fewer problems, and less practice means a low rate of learning. Well, there you have it, everyone. My top 3 tips for learning math. Be self-disciplined, learn math-specific vocabulary, and develop basic mental math skills. I will be posting videos in the future in which we focus on each of these tips individually and investigate them more thoroughly. I will also be posting videos in the future that cover individual skills, concepts, and problems. So, until then, be wise, diligent, and careful, and always strive for excellence.